What's up everyone, it's Mr. Ferguson here. Welcome back to my channel here in Central North Carolina. Hope you're having a great day today. We are now in mid-April and summer is coming pretty quickly. We have started dealing with fungus in my lawn here, and so we need to get our mind focused on things to come. We are working on things that we're dealing with right now when we're in the middle of spring, but summer is quickly approaching. So in this video, I'm remaking this one. I did this last year, it did real well, and I think it's smart. We got to think ahead, right? If you are one of these people that have overseeded this past spring, you want to pay attention to these 5 tips that we have today to make sure that your lawn survives the summer heat. Without further ado, let's get into number 5. So number 5, we are going to start with biostimulants. This is not something that is absolutely necessary to have a nice lawn, but I do think that these ingredients that I'm showing you here can be key in helping your lawn survive the summer, especially for those of you that have overseeded or planted new grass here in the spring. If you're anywhere near Southern Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and parts where we're warming up, it's almost like we're skipping spring and we're jumping right into 80-degree days here currently in North Carolina. I believe some of these products right here are going to help assist your grass, especially young grass, in being able to survive the summer. We're not going to go over all of these in detail specifically right now, but just know RGS, which contains sea kelp, which CK probably is the most important out of all of these I would recommend. I just ordered this bottle myself to refresh my supply. CK, it has been shown by the lawn experiment that we saw and we will be doing here in the future by Alan Hain, the lawn care nut, that CK will begin to make those roots of your plant grow fatter, thicker, longer. It helps. Sea kelp comes from the ocean, which is a very rough environment. They've extracted the sea kelp to be able to apply this in a liquid form to our grass to be able to make the roots fatter, thicker, stronger, and to be able to take on more stress in our lawn. Recently, I have added the natural adjuvant from GCI Turf and Pete over there into my lawn the past 2 years, and I have survived the summer. And one of the things I believed helped is the water retaining qualities of the natural adjuvant. We'll have links to all of these products below if you're interested in trying these yourself. But the natural adjuvant, when putting down our fungicides, when putting down fertilizers, and just applying it as is, helps with water retention to keep our grass hydrated. It also helps with calcium to build up cell walls, and it's just a great product overall. It helps us to use minimum amounts of product that we put in our lawn, not having to use more of the product, saving us a little bit money on fungicides and fertilizers. And then we have Hydrotain. There is mixed thoughts about this throughout the YouTube community. I'm not too big on you gotta have Hydrotain. It's something that is out there and that can help. If you begin to see dry spots in your lawn, you want to wet your lawn first, then you want to go ahead and apply Hydrotain at the recommended amount. There's a base layer that you need to apply, and then you apply monthly as needed, and you want to water that in. So there are 4 products right here that I think are crucial in helping us to survive summer. That's number 5, and that's the biostimulants. Number 4, we're talking about the height of our cut on our lawnmower. Mowing is so stinking important in our lawn. We know that growth, when we first plant that grass seed, mowing our lawn is so important to begin to tell the grass, stop putting all your energy in growing up. I'm going to cut you 2 times a week. Hopefully you're mowing at least 2 times a week with good fertilization. And also it's telling the roots to push down. So we want to continue to mow our lawn, but we need to be careful about mowing in the summertime. We can get to the point where our lawn gets stressed out, where we see dry spots in the lawn, and we don't need to take our mower and to begin to run over it and to begin to damage our turf type tall fescue or any type of cool season grass. So we need to be ready, thinking about the height of our cut. We don't want to be cutting the grass super low. I see it in my neighborhood. I saw a lot of awesome looking lawns in my neighborhood that were done by companies, and it looks really good, but I've noticed, and it's got to be by the customer, they're cutting their own lawn And even in the springtime, I've seen the lawn go downhill already in about 3 weeks because it looks like they're cutting it only about two inches tall, and they're getting close to the crown of the plant, and it's just not, and it adds stress to an already stressful environment of our lawn, right? It makes sense. So we want to keep that between 3, some people like 3 inches, they keep it 3 inches year round, that's fine, you do what you want to do. Tall fescue likes to be taller, so we want to keep it between 3 and 4 inches tall. Some people will even go 4.5 inches tall, so that that plant is not stressed out, it has plenty of growth, it's not laying over so much. We don't want to keep it too tall. I think 4.5 may be a little tall for me. If we're keeping it too tall, it begins to lay over and it begins to collect moisture underneath, and fungus can develop right there. Also, if you're like me, you're using a lawn striper, this is a good time to go ahead and just take that off. Your lawn does not need the stress of dragging around those wheels and that striper pressing down on it. Again, we are in summer. This is what we want to survive. If you planted new seed in the spring, or if you planted new seed in the fall, you want that to make it through the summer, to get a year under your belt so that it has mature roots that are going to continue to grow the following year. We don't want that to die out. So number 4 on our list, we want to check our mowing height. We want to make sure if we're cutting low during the cooler time that we're raising that up and we're getting rid of that lawn striper, not going for looks, we're going to survive summer. So number 3 on our list is fungicides. We can be devastated. Also, in addition to fungicides, also insecticides, because during the summer months, that's when we mainly see brown patch, we see dollar spot, we see rust, we see all these different diseases begin to pop up on our lawn. Who is most susceptible to this? Well, if you have turf type tall fescue, you are susceptible to disease. But I would also strongly encourage you, if you have someone else, if you have a mowing company that comes and does your lawn because you're unable to do it because maybe of your health or just out of convenience, you have a friend who mows different people in your area, you are very susceptible to disease. Well, why is that? Because these people are cutting all these different lawns, and we don't have a clue what type of disease may be in this lawn, and unless that guy is cleaning his mower blades before he gets to your grass, he's mowing your turf with the same exact blades, and that fungus can be then implanted into your lawn. So keep that in your mind. So we need to be on top of what we've talked about here recently on my channel with fungicides. So just like I told you guys, I have ordered my own restock of fungicides. I've got propiconazole and azoxystrobin here. This is the liquid form. Excuse me, you do not have to do the liquid in your lawn. You can do granular. We've talked about with the azoxystrobin, Scott's Disease X is a granular form that you can buy bags of this and spread it with your spreader and have the same coverage as this bottle right here. And then propiconazole, you don't have to have this and a backpack sprayer to be able to spray it. You can buy BioAdvanced over here at Lowe's or Home Depot or your hardware store. It is a hose end connector. Spray that in your lawn and you're applying both Scott's Disease X and BioAdvanced Fungus Control is both this product right here. It's the same exact thing. So doing something is better than absolutely doing nothing. We want to, number 1, prevent if we can. We want to be, if we see fungus in our lawn, then we have to use more chemicals. Then we have to use more product in our lawn to be able to stop the disease in its tracks. And keep in mind, it's not just going to make your lawn automatically turn green if you're dealing with a fungus that you can see in your lawn in person. It begins to stop the spread of that fungus, and then as you add I would advise you add a little bit of nitrogen or fertilizer to the applications of fungus. That way we have a little bit of growth. And so when we have growth, the fungus that will be stopped in its tracks by these medicine fungicides, they'll grow out, you'll cut them, you should bag your mows, toss them in the woods if you're able to do so. And eventually those areas should grow out and become green and healthy again. So number 3 on our list, fungicides. You don't have to use exactly what I'm using, but check into it. You want to make sure you're having your group 5 and your group 11 to cover the wide range of different diseases our turf type tall fescue can have. So number 2 on my list is we need to know what our potassium levels are and our calcium levels. Potassium and calcium. Calcium is key in strengthening the cell wall of our turf type tall fescue. If we don't have a lot of good optimal calcium in our lawn, it can make the plant struggle. I believe this was one of my issues in the first couple years that I began to plant a lawn that looks very similar to this. I lost it every single time in the summer, twice. Number one, I had to get my soil right. As everybody's been talking about in the project lawn, I've been showing you, you got to get your dirt right. And so we want to make sure that our potassium levels is also the second thing. Calcium and potassium. Our potassium levels are important because that's one of the three big major components. We got our nitrogen, we got our phosphorus, and we have our potassium. One of the big three, right? The last number on your fertilizer is going to be your potassium of what you're applying. Well, we don't know what fertilizer to use if we don't know what our potassium and calcium levels are, if we don't use a soil probe, if we don't take samples of our lawn and send it in on a soil test. So in addition to potassium levels and calcium, really a soil test, you need to be doing the soil test now in the springtime to show, okay, on this chart, what is it showing me? What is in my dirt? It's giving you a representation of where you are, what type of fertilizer you need. You may not need to be applying starter fert. You don't need any of that phosphorus. Your lawn may be rich in phosphorus, but you may want to start hitting your potassium levels now. It's our stress reducer of our lawn. It doesn't mean it's going to absolutely be able to ward off 105-degree temperatures, but it's taken me several years to get my K or potassium into optimal levels on my soil test. And so I'm finally there. I'm also optimal now in my calcium, and I've seen a difference. I have now survived several summers because of these things, in addition to the other three options I believe that we have talked about previously. So get you a soil test in the link below. Check out what your lawn is telling you. See if your potassium levels are right. Use a fertilizer that's going to start building up your potassium levels, and make sure your calcium levels are also on point. That's number two. And finally, we've reached the conclusion of this video. Number one, I've got the new water hose here. It is obviously water. We have to be watering our lawn. There is no way all of the other things we've talked about is going to just save you on its own if we don't have water. So we know that we are supposed to water properly in the summer times, and we have to pay attention to the weather. It's why I always kind of give a weather report on my channel to just tell you guys, hey, this is what we've been dealing with this week. We've had no rain. We've had lots of rain. When the rain begins to dry up in these summer months, we have to begin to apply water, because the grass is going to visually show us it is dehydrated, it is thirsty. Even if our potassium levels are right, our calcium levels are right, we have fungicide protecting us against disease, we've put in CK, we have applied hydrotane, we've applied C-kelp and RGS, and we're doing all these awesome and wonderful things to our lawn. Water is the thing God gave us to be able to make sure that our grass doesn't die out, and it must have water to survive. Or if it doesn't get that water, obviously this is something we need to think about. It doesn't mean we have to water it every day, because we know that water can promote, with warmer ground temperatures, warmer air temperatures, and then a lot of moisture, doing too much water can be harmful to our lawn, can promote fungus, can promote a lot of bad things in our lawn. So we don't want to overdo it, but the recommendation is to water infrequently, meaning do it once a week and do it for longer periods of time so that that water absorbs into the ground. It is not recommended to do it before sunset or after sunset. Again, fungus can come into play at these times, and I know working a job where you can get off at 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, that's the only time, Mr. Ferguson, that I'm able to water. I get it, I understand it, and I have done it too and broken that rule. Just understand that you are when you're putting water on the ground at night, that is the time when fungus can begin to come into our lawn. So it's more towards the early mornings and towards midday before the evenings that we want to water. And again, we don't want to do this every single day. We want to do it infrequently, and we want to water deep into the ground. And as many of the professionals have said that I've had to listen to, that it takes a lot more water to water in products, and it takes a lot more water to get seeped into the soil on hot days than we really think about. It's not so much about the mistakes I've made timing it. Well, I'm going to do 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, but it's about how much are you applying. And so getting that tin can and checking your sprinklers on how much you're applying in a 30-minute period will really help you to make that determination. Another consideration has to be the thing that I talk about all the time, and that's raising water rates here in my county. Water is absolutely through the roof. They continue to raise the base rate prices, and not being on a well has really hurt me, and this is going to be the toughest year for me. I'm so glad I've got 2 summers under this grass so that it is stronger, it is deeply rooted and mature. But this is going to be tough, and it's going to be tough for some of you out there with the price of water, and utilities have gone through the roof. So we have to calculate this ahead of time for next summer. Hey, I need to start having a little bit of a savings for water for the summertime. All of the watering that we don't do can just destroy that investment in that grass seed. So number one clearly is watering. And I just want to thank you for tuning in this video. It's a remake of what we did last year, but we've got to get our mind frame and looking ahead while we're taking care of business right now in the springtime, finding fungus, mowing. Now is when the lawn is looking superb and awesome, but summer is coming. And I really want to just stress, if you seeded this past spring and you're new to lawn care, you want to take care of that investment. You don't want to have wasted your time. Leave your comments below. If you want to be a channel member, you can check that out and hit the join button as well if you're on PC. Also, we'll have links to some of these products in the description, like soil tests, the fungicides, the biostimulants. If you're interested in these things, check out the link. It helps support the channel and also gets directly sent to you to help you with the things that we're talking about. I've said it before, I blew off the whole fungicide talk in my lawn care plan the first year. I was like, nope, they're just trying to make money. That's extra. I don't need to do that. And I ended up with fungus and about lost all my lawn before summer, and it can just pile on top of you if you don't stay on top of these things. So give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Share it with somebody. If they're new to lawn care, they just planted, you want them to be successful. Maybe it's not you, maybe it's a friend. Share this video with them. Leave your comments below and questions. And if you have some more tips for surviving summer that maybe was not on this top 5 list, leave it in the comments below. I'd love to I would love to read your suggestions as well as we improve this list, as I experience things in my lawn and hear from you as well. God bless you guys. Hope you have a fantastic week.